Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Brawn Body Health and Fitness Podcast. I'm so glad that you're joining us today. Today I'm joined by none other than Dr. Mi Pham from the Mayo Clinic, and today we're going to be discussing Dr. Pham's personal journey. Dr. Pham is a very inspirational individual, and I'm very thankful to have connected with him earlier this year, and I'm thankful to help him share his journey online through our podcast here today. Dr. Pham grew up in Vietnam and then immigrated to the U.S. as a refugee during the Vietnam War, and he later went on to attend the same school I went to, albeit a few years before I was there, and then went on to the University of Pittsburgh, where he studied medicine and became a cardiothoracic surgeon. Dr. Pham's life journey and experiences are like none other. He's an incredible individual, and I'm super thankful for his time and him being here today. I know you guys are going to enjoy this episode and take a lot of lessons from it. Dr. Pham, welcome to the podcast. I'm super excited to see you again and talk with you again.
Thank you, Dan. Happy to see you again, and I'm happy that you contact me after our encounter at Lebanon Valley College.
Yeah, for sure. So for people who aren't familiar with you, or maybe they haven't heard of the Mayo Clinic before, would you mind filling them in a little bit about who you are and all the amazing things that you do down there in Florida?
Yeah, I'm currently is the chairman of the Department of Cardiothoracic Surgery at Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, Florida. The Mayo Clinic is a international healthcare system. They have the three a large main campus, one in Rochester, one in Florida, one in Arizona. But they also have the system in Wisconsin and other places. So we are in Florida. I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon, a surgeon that operates on the heart and the lung. I'm also a heart and lung transplant surgeon. And I have been in Mayo Clinic for the last 5.5 years. Before that, I was at University of Maryland and University of Miami and University of Pittsburgh Medical Center.
That's amazing. And if you're talking about me, I can't imagine doing like a heart or a lung transplant on someone. It's incredible to think the types of things that you can do. Did you always know that you wanted to be a doctor or surgeon, or how did you get interested in medicine, Dr. Pham?
Long story. I grew up in Vietnam and during the Vietnam War. Essentially, I grew up during the war, and I have seen quite a bit of death and destruction, as you currently see in Eastern Europe right now. And as a teenager, I have a lot of dreams and hopes, and I see all these things. I wonder, all this high technology, sophisticated technology, instead of using to kill people, why don't to use it to heal people? And certainly that is one of the inspiration that I have when I was a young kid, a young teenager. Then kind of life had many turns. The Vietnam War ended, and I left Vietnam after the North Vietnamese took over the South in 1975, and after being in several refugee camps, I end up at Lebanon Valley College in Pennsylvania. It's a small town, Enville, Pennsylvania, and from there I got to study chemistry and was accepted to a medical school in Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh Medical School, and then from there I trained to be a surgeon and heart and lung transplant. So that where I started, and that's how I started, and where I am right now.
That's an incredible start, and I personally cannot imagine what you grew up seeing and experiencing in Vietnam during the war, Dr. Pham, because I think I just stop and think about my own childhood, and I grew up without a whole lot of death or destruction, and I was not surrounded by, anything overly dangerous on a daily basis like you were. And I would imagine that that had a incredible impact on your work ethic and your overall character, and probably still does to this day.
Yeah, thank you. And certainly, the situation can make create a person and who you are, and it shapes your thinking and your choices in life. So
I like to say the expression is, you're not what has happened to you, but you are what you choose to become in life. So, unfortunately, bad things can happen anywhere, as you mentioned, what is currently going on in the Ukraine. However, just because bad things occur doesn't mean that that is the rest of your life mantra. You can choose to overcome the obstacles that were once in your path, and it sounds like you did just that. Now, after you studied medicine at the University of Pittsburgh, where did you go from there? Did you know that you wanted to specialize in cardiothoracic surgery, or how did you get involved in that?
yeah, the at the time I went to medical school at the University of Pittsburgh, there's a lot of thing happen. Sometimes it had been at the right place at the right time because I was a medical student and I rotate through a surgery rotation. And the chairman of Department of Surgery at the time, Dr. Henry Bonson, he was in Vietnam helping establish the curriculum for the medical school during the Vietnam War in Vietnam. And the first day I rotated to the service, I listened to his lecture, and then he he noticed my name, and he asked whether I was from Vietnam, and we have a little conversation, and we get to know each other. And he shared some of his experience when he was in Vietnam, and helping out the education, the medical education over there. And we get to know each other, and he become my mentor, and that's how I become interest in surgery, and then become a resident there, and I did all my postgraduate training at University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, and that how things started there. And at the time in the in the late 18, early 90, Pittsburgh was the center for transplant, and then that how I end up being a heart and lung transplant surgeon.
Wow, so you were just in the right place at the right time by the sounds then, huh?
That's right. Yeah. So life there's a lot of a miracle happened. I guess after some tragedy, there's always some silver lining at everything. So, I left Vietnam at the time I was 18 years old. But my family, I was by myself and able to get here, and through a series of being lucky, I got a lot of help from initially by the people in Annville, Pennsylvania, Lebanon Valley College, and then in medical school, I met Dr. Bonson, and it's just a series of being lucky, being at the right place at right time.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Now, did you always feel like you were going to have that lucky moment or the breakthrough moment, or was there ever a time in your journey that you were kind of struggling with things or doubting yourself or doubting the overall trajectory of your life and career forward?
You know, I didn't expect things happen the way it was. I mean, I was prepared for the worst, and I say, no matter where I am and what I do, I will do my best, and I tried my hardest because because some of the experience I went through, I thought there couldn't be anything worse than that. But there are times in when I was first getting accepted to medical school, there are times I didn't have money to buy food or buy book either. So I mean there are times a hard time, but we managed to get through and able to be able to went through that. But you only try. There's those difficult time always go by and wouldn't try to dwell much onto it.
Do you have any kind of insight or advice for other people who might be going through difficult times or hard times in life? Because lately it seems like a lot of people that I've talked with are struggling with different things, whether it be financially or just their overall situation. And as we've mentioned, you're someone who's kind of seen a lot of stuff. Do you have any advice for those who are going through hard times?
Mm. What I can say, just try to do your best and take advantage of what you have around you and try to leverage it and because these difficult time usually it will pass, and knowing yourself, know what you can do, and be persistent, and you will get over with that.
I believe they say tough times don't last, but tough people do. And I think when you're in the moment, it can be probably difficult to recognize that the situation that you're going through is temporary instead of a long-term state of just whatever negative thing that you're currently facing, whether that's health related, financially, or whatever. There's a lot of people facing a lot of unique challenges in life lately, it certainly seems.
Yes, for sure. But again, persistent and be persistent and do your best.
And you were saying too, you finished up at Pittsburgh and you had done the specialization in heart and lung transplant at Pittsburgh. You said that they had a transplant center there, but that was in, as you mentioned, the 80s, 90s. And today you're at the Mayo Clinic all the way down in Jacksonville, Florida. So what happened between, say, 80s, 90s to 2020? Where did you go after Pittsburgh, or did you stay in Pittsburgh for a while? And what did you learn from that experience?
I did my medical school in Pittsburgh, and then I did my general surgery training and cardiothoracic training there. Um, then I stayed there as a faculty member for 6 more years before I moved to University of Miami. Pittsburgh, I mean Pennsylvania. I live in Pennsylvania, probably the longest of any place. I was there for 19 years from Enville, Pennsylvania to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's where I worked for since 1975 to 1998. So I lived in Pennsylvania for a long time. In Pittsburgh, Enville certainly is my first experience in the U.S. and it is small town America, Main Street America. That's how I learned the value that I get be nice to people, be helpful to other people, and be open um, to help other people, and I learned a lot from the value of people in a small town like Enville. And then Pittsburgh is at the time it was when I was there, it's a blue collar city, the steel mill and the Steelers game, Steelers and all that thing. So you work hard and you also play hard, enjoy all the thing that around you, and and then I met a lot of good mentors there. So so that how I always look at life as something that even though you are in a difficult time, but there are people worse than you, so you continue to help people and whatever you can, and try to do the best that you can. But I have learned a lot in Pittsburgh. I have a lot of fond memory there. After that, I went to University of Miami and set up or expanded a heart lung transplant program there.
That's incredible. Now you mentioned that you just mentioned that you expanded the program in Miami. So what did it take for you to take a existing program and grow it and expand it and make it into something that was more well known and more reputable in the area? Was there a lot of work on your part individually, or was it more of a team collaboration? And for anyone interested in learning how to grow and scale anything, I don't care if it's a business or a medical department, what advice might you offer to them based on your own experience
Uh,
scaling a department in Miami?
uh. Well, I always think that, to ask people to do something, you have to do it harder. You have to work harder. And to build something, the same thing is a small business or the department or anything. You have to work harder, and you show people that you work at harder as they do, or more than your teamwork. Certainly, you have to show example to your team member, and you have to rely on your team to build a group of people around you, and you inspire them to have the same purpose as you, and something, you know to 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 create something bigger than who you are, and what you have, and that require a whole host of people, also, not only work harder, but also inspire people to do um, to do it, and you do that by example.
So you mean to tell me that nothing great happens without hard work and sweat equity? Really? Man, I was really hoping I could just cruise control and coast there myself. I'm just
Well,
kidding.
no, I think whatever you do, especially to create a business, or to build a program, or to do anything, you need people help. But you also willing to roll your sleeve up and work hard, and show that that you are part of the whole system. It's not just run it from the top down. You run it from bottom up.
I love that. I love that. You lead by example. And I like to say, too, in my limited experience in business and having my own business, is if the person that you've employed is working harder than you are as the business or company owner, then you're probably not going to stay the owner for long. The analogy I like is the person who's climbing a hill or climbing a mountain in life is likely more desperate or more hungry to reach the top of the mountain than someone who's already scaled it and sitting on top enjoying the view. So
Mm.
whatever mountain you're climbing in life, whether that be, studying and getting through medical school or scaling a department or in business, you should probably stay hungry and stay committed to learning and continuing to work hard day in and day out, because if you don't, someone else will.
Yeah, that's very true.
After Miami, you then went to Maryland and then to Jacksonville. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. I was in Miami for 14 years. We built a very, very nice program. Our heart transplant program become one of the best in terms of the survival. The best, actually, in one year, it was the best. It had the best survival. Not only that, the I I met a lot of friends and people. We still I'm still in touch with. We So it's a great program that we created, and we help a lot of patients. And I work at Safety Net Hospital, Jackson Memorial Hospital, where we took care of a lot of urban and people, urban patient, and also people, immigrants, and and also work at the veteran hospital there too. So it gave me a lot of satisfaction that I able to repay what I have received as an immigrant when I first came here in this country. So after that, Miami, my former mentor from Maryland was at Maryland, and also some of my residents were there. So he created a program, and he asked me to come and join him, and that's how I end up in the University of Maryland Medical Center. So so that's another program that I also enjoy working with, and we also expanded that program and made a lot of new friends there. And we're still in contact to this day. So
It sounds like networking and connecting with people has certainly been a strength for you across the years, hasn't it?
yeah, it's something that I really enjoy it. I mean, I still keep in touch with people that I used to be working with from Enfield, as you know, and I still have friends in Enfield, and then Pittsburgh, Miami, Maryland, and now in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. Here, so.
Have you learned anything from living in so many different areas, from cold cities to warm cities to small towns? Has the region that you lived in taught you anything about life or giving you any lessons that you take with you on a day-to-day basis?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it it the thing, not only that, but I also grew up in a very small town in Vietnam. So it gave me a lot of perspective. You did learn how to appreciate people. There's always good sides of everybody, no matter where you are, whether in a small town, in a large city, or other. And it's just that human aspect of it. If you sit down, talk to people, you always find something good about that person and able to make a connection. It's kind of amazing. I I have taken care of a lot of veterans and other, and I always get excited when I talk to a veteran, and in my life I have encountered quite a few. I'll give you an example. One of the veteran that I took care of at the University of Maryland, he was a colonel, retired colonel. He was in the army, special force or something in the army, and when I left Vietnam, I went to a camp in Guam, as a refugee camp in Guam, and he was the commander who set up that camp to accept the refugee people there. And then later on, he retired from the service and as a colonel. And then he got sick with the lung disease, and he became a patient at the University of Maryland, and then I did a lung transplant on him. But after we talk about, and it just funny how things happen, and it just here he was helping set up a camp to help me. Now I came back and and help him. So it's such a life is full of miracles. So
That's definitely true. And it's amazing how things can go full circle and one way. You were once someone who received help because of the work this individual did. And then a few decades pass and you ended up returning the favor and helping that individual by
Yeah.
performing a lung transplant. So
Uh,
it's incredible how the impact that one person can have on you can
uh,
come back, and you can turn around and have that same impact on them decades later. Or you can take a
mm,
lesson that you learn from an interaction with someone and
mm,
apply it to your day-to-day life and impact the
mm,
lives of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, and maybe even millions indirectly. It's incredible the impact that just your simple daily actions and the things that you do day in and day out can have on
mm,
others.
mm. At the end of the day, the human interaction and then the connection that you have, that make your life, make you feel, you accomplish something, you feel you happy, you feel that you fulfill. It's just that little human connection that really make your day and make your life quite fulfilled.
Now, obviously, you are a medical doctor, as we've shared a few times. How do you connect with and interact with your patients? How do you build a good rapport with them before performing a surgery? Because
Uh,
I've found in the past that some, not all, but occasionally you find one or two doctors or surgeons who don't always pay attention to the patient interaction when I think that's one of the most important pieces.
uh, I think that's important, the way that I connect with people. I'm interested in them as a person first. They came to you, especially in my specialty. Nobody want to go and see a surgeon, especially in a heart surgeon. So it's a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety when they come to see me. But I try to spend some time with them and ask uh, them about their life, what they accomplish and what they do, and who, their children and all that thing. Just a little connection there, and kind of amazing how after a little talk and you be able to connect it with them. You share something in common with them, and, uh, and you can just latch on that, or expand it on that, and you put people at ease. You know, that way, the how you initiate it got it's not uncommon that I'm in Florida, but I met a lot of people who come to see me from Pennsylvania, from New Jersey, or from Maryland, and it's a little connection there. Oh, I talk about the Steeler; they are Steeler fans, or they are uh, from Baltimore, the Raven, and other things. It's just a little conversation like that, and you find something there able that enable you to connect with them, and that put them at ease, and have a little conversation there, and certainly it helped with making things easier for them. Yeah.
Definitely. That's great advice. And I think it really shows your care and compassion when you're willing to take some time and connect with someone individually instead of just focusing on
Uh,
the
uh,
health problem or health condition that they present with. Now,
uh,
this might be the most important question we've discussed so far. You've mentioned the Steelers a few times. Are you a Pittsburgh Steelers fan yourself?
yeah, yes, I still follow. When I went to medical school there, I started 1979. I mean, still was at the heyday then, in the late 70, early 80. So.
And I'm hoping our heyday returns because this year is not off to the best start. But hey, sometimes life doesn't give you the cards you want, and you just keep going and you make something amazing out of it.
Are you still a fan, or what?
Yes, yeah, of course. Dr. Pham, as we've been talking here, I realize you have so much wisdom and life lessons that you can offer to everyone, not just medical students or those who have a doctorate degree, but everyone in some way, regardless of what their endeavors are in life. Do you have any kind of thoughts or remarks or anything that you really want to do you have anything that you want people who are listening to really take away from your journey and your experiences, or what should people remember as they go through life based on your own insight?
You know, all of us go through life, you will encounter a lot of difficulties, but also a lot of good things. People helping you. I mean, you will. I think the good thing happen to most people more than the bad thing. If you just willing to forget about the bad thing and just focus on the good thing, and then try to do that, to share that with other people, help, give a helping hand, mentor somebody, try to share what the good thing in life that you have. You don't have to share the bad thing, share the good thing, and that whatever opportunity you can, try to share that and help people through. I mean, each of us have a lot of experience. We live through it, and try to help people that avoid that kind of a bad experience that we went through, and help sharing with them the good thing, and guide them, or whenever an opportunities come, and try to help people, then do that, and you will feel, I mean, you feel your life will be happier that way.
I
So
love that. I love that. The power of positivity and the importance of daily gratitude. And it
mhm.
seems to be working for you pretty well, Dr. Pham, because I'll be honest, you don't look a day over 50 right now.
Yeah, I look, I'm much older than what I look, but try to be positive, and try to share the positive, the good thing with others. So
Definitely. Now,
mm,
for people listening, if they want to check out more about you or find out more about you, is there any links to like a biography of you or a way to contact you online or anything
yeah,
like that that you know
yeah.
of?
Yeah, I am on LinkedIn, and also on Facebook. I have Dr. C Pham Facebook page there. You can contact me there, and also in the LinkedIn too. So
Awesome. We will
mm,
link to all of that below. So
mm,
that way you can just click there and see all kinds of awesome information about
mm,
Dr. Pham. Dr. Pham, it was amazing to reconnect with you again. I really appreciate your time and your insight
uh,
as always.
thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Brawn Body Health and Fitness Podcast. If you liked this episode, please make sure to share it with a friend, subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes, and leave a review. This way we can spread knowledge and motivation and help reach more people. Thank you again for listening, and I'll see you next time.